That could be recording.
We are.
Okay, I have 9 o'clock, so I'd like to call the meeting of the Criminal Justice Accounting Affairs Committee to order. First up, is there any change to the agenda at this time? Okay. Seeing none, we'll do the agenda as presented. Call to public. Anybody would like to speak? Seeing none, is there anybody on the telephone?
There's not at this time.
Okay, we'll move on. There'll be another opportunity at the end of the meeting. First up is consider approving the county child care application for their children under the jurisdiction of Isabella County Circuit Court Family Division to assure child safety, well-being, permanency, and rehabilitation of our most vulnerable populations, and authorized board chair to sign the same. And we have our court administrator, Carrie Curtis, here to speak.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're back again, but I don't even know how many years. The Child Care Fund, pretty standard application. There were no changes on the state side this year. Our amounts are very similar to last year. We did look at a 5-year analysis, so we adjusted them very slightly, knowing that if detention beds and residential facilities open, our expenses will probably get closer to what they had been previously. So that's really where we're at. There's still no beds.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's pretty similar to what we've seen. I do have a question though, that I was talking to somebody the other day and they were looking for, you said the beds are filled, but they were talking about like a elderly parent. And there are open beds, but the staffing didn't have enough to staff. Is that what you're finding? Is that starting to be an issue, or
That is
why?
75% of the problem. There
Okay.
are 90 bed facilities that are only able to fill
So
to
you have,
30% capacity.
there's room available, you don't have the staffing to accommodate that.
Correct. It's
Okay.
very similar to how the elderly adult facilities work. You have to have a certain ratio of staff to youth in this case. And if the facilities don't have enough staff, they can't fill the beds.
Is that getting better or is it not really?
So the second part of the frustration or change is that now 17-year-olds are included in this group. It used to be when they were 17, they went through adult court. Now those 17-year-olds are going through juvenile. So there was no additional bed availability or staffing. Problems weren't resolved, and we added more kids to the pool. So no, it's not getting better. Thankfully, we don't have any very serious situations that we have to try to find a bed for youth. I know last week the undersheriff sat with one of our kids at the sheriff's department because there was nowhere to put him. He wasn't able to go back to non-secure. So until we could, because places don't have authorizing officials available in the evening or overnight hours sometimes as well. So that added another level of it, but that's the reality of what happens. Sometimes you can't put them in adult jail because there has to be sight sound separation. So struggle is
Okay.
real.
Yeah. No, any questions? Or questions?
No more questions from me. Definitely want to get the 50% support here. So I'll move a motion. Consider approving the county child care application for children under jurisdiction of Isabella County Circuit Court Family Division to assure child safety, well-being, permanency, and rehabilitation of our most vulnerable population. Authorized board chair to sign the MDHS HHS $2,091 to the AOC next Tuesday.
And I'll support that. I thought I was the only one that had trouble read that today. But
And
I'm glad
my first one of the morning.
you're just doing that just to make me, 'cause
Right.
I was like having trouble. Anyway, it's been moved. It's been moved and supported.
Thank you.
Then we move this forward to the work session. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion has passed and we will move that forward to the work session. So.
Thank you,
Okay,
Terry.
thanks.
Oh, no, you're good.
Yeah,
Bolt when you can.
yes, we need more caffeine. Okay, next up, we have consider approving the fiscal year 2023 victims' right prosecutor grant application in the amount of $148,934 and authorize board chair to sign the same.
Good morning.
And yes. So I think we've seen. Floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you have seen this one before as well. It is a continuation of the Victim Rights Grant. We did have a small increase this year that they did across the board for all counties, and so that was nice to see. And overall, things are pretty much the same and in line. It was a $4,600 increase. So 1 year. This provides the funds for 2 full-time advocates, and we keep them very busy, so.
I think we've had this ever since I've been on the board, probably a lot longer.
But it didn't go full-time until
Did
just a
go
couple
full-time
years
and
ago,
they
right?
increased
Right, a second,
Oh,
yeah, we had a second person go full-time when they did a larger increase, and so we were able to make that second person full-time, which has been really nice. And so this has allowed us to be able to keep up with the wages and increases in wages, just, the annual things. So the little increase that they gave us was a nice perk. And they leave a certain amount in there that's direct victim needs. So when they have things like maybe if they were broken into and they broke their security alarm or whatever, we have some funds that we can help directly with those things, replace those things. Eyeglasses, somebody's in a situation where their eyeglasses get broke and they'll replace we can replace those from different things like that that go directly to the victim. So it's nice to have those funds available. So.
Yeah, it's nice to see an increase. So that usually doesn't happen. The grants usually start to slowly get less and less and less. And we usually have to pick up more and more and more and keep them going. So I said, I do not have any questions because it's pretty,
I'll move this on to the BOC. For sure. Thank you for coming down. Well, can make a motion, move to consider approving the fiscal year 2023 victim rights prosecutor grant application in the amount of $148,934. Authorize the board to sign.
I will support that. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same.
Thanks,
Motion
Dorothy.
has passed and we will move this forward to the work session. Okay, next up, we have Mark Griffiths with us for the last part. Consider approving the fiscal year 2023 emergency management performance grant work agreement. Authorized for chair to sign the same. Floor is yours.
Just want to show how thick we are today in staff reports.
Yeah, I noticed
Just
it.
want to have you appreciate the reporting and grant thoroughness of the EMPG that we are talking about. This is the standard work agreement that you have seen ever since I've been employed here. So 2002, and I think before that it was Bob David. This is the whole grant. It'll be referenced in the presentation that I spoke about earlier, but it is important just for you to take a peek at the grant and see, it's very thorough. There's all kinds of things each quarter that we have to do. It checks and balances everything to try and make a a good up-to-date emergency management program. And this is a portion of the emergency management coordinator's wages, which I'm, both that and 911. So nothing that you haven't seen before. And this is the agreement, and 9 months later, we'll actually get the actual grant after the work has already been completed. And then we'll know how much money we get for doing all of that work, which is a little unusual for grants. Usually you know how much money you're getting up front. So averages between, 32 and 34% for the portion of the salary that we claim. Do you have any questions on that?
And we will do most of the stuff if we didn't have the grant regardless. So it's like,
Correct.
it's,
Very good point.
so
We still need to have an emergency management
we still
program.
need to do it. So we need to go forward,
Yeah.
even though we don't know exactly what.
We are
we're
more
going to get.
active than ever right now. You see all the active violence in schools, you see all the active violence with churches and stuff. So anytime we get a chance to plan and coordinate with businesses, churches and schools or opportunities we're trying to do. So that's kind of the forefront right now. Sheriff has been here before and he'd tell you we're working rescue task force with police and fire to plan for that. We're also doing the hazard mitigation planning right now with our contractor, trying to get that plan done, which will allow us to have more money for our community. Seen that before through the administrator's office. They got $900,000 for drains. Over towards Central Michigan University, we got 2 different grants, about 1.1, 1.2 million in mitigation. This is helping us prepare and plan and respond. So very important. Coordinate our chemical sites that we have in the community as well to create safety plans for that. So it's an extremely important grant. That we keep. So,
You gave us a pretty decent upgrade a couple of meetings ago, so.
yeah.
I have a question, if you did more work in this regard, would that mean more grant dollars or not necessarily? Would the percentage go down of your hours that they fund kind of?
No, they're steady at about 32%, 34% of the salary. So ever since, to my knowledge, when they started it with Bob David, the sheriff's department, it's always been that 32, 34% of the full-time slot. We can apply for the full thing. What we don't ever want to do is pass on this, because once you pass on it, they will never give it back to you. And we've seen a couple of even large cities in Michigan not get this grant dollars anymore. So this is an important program that we try to keep. And we're a big enough community, to be honest, that we have so much activity going on. We need to get as many hours into this as humanly possible to plan and prepare as we go forward.
So, because this is such a different way they run grants, does the grant coordinator, moderator, or whatever that you talk to, do they kind of push you in certain things that you need to do this?
Yes.
or-
Yeah.
I mean,
so-
I mean, normally they do that anyways, but in this one, it seems like it'd be.
The
you have an
topics and the
idea.
areas of interest, yep. So each year they review it and then they will modify this actual grant
Priorities.
agreement for priorities.
Okay.
So you've got that. This is the grant that pays the person that we want to have. Ideally, we'd want to have full-time back like we did. Then this person can get the other grants like Homeland Security, hazard mitigation, because they're aware and they're tuned in, they're doing all these other things. They get access to understanding what's out there and when. And then also this grant you'll meet Lieutenant Orville Feeker from Emergency Management Homeland Security Division of Michigan State Police next week. They have a whole intelligence center called the MIOC, and latest threats and greatest stuff. We work with the sheriff if anything comes up, election security, what's coming up next. We just had a big discussion about election security and what we can do to assist in that area. And then that can give us our focus. And then when anything does pop off, even like this recent set of storms that came through, that can be a natural disaster. We work with the lieutenant and coordinate what's going on. Here's your heads up. We work with other federal partners like the Weather Service, stuff like that, county fair. Obviously concerned. It seems like no matter what, we have to have at least one storm during the county fair. So I can't just have a county fair of nice weather and enjoyment.
That's why they moved it up.
Yeah.
Help the farmers out.
Yeah,
We always needed a rain there.
I'm telling you what.
At least, we were talking about this. I know we're getting a little off topic here, but when they used to have it down at the Island Park,
Oh, God.
and they'd have all these lines running down from the rides and everything. And every year we'd get a rain and it'd flood and it's like they got boards, they got all these electrical cables and I've
Oh,
always
yeah.
wondered that no one ever got
Yeah.
electrocuted on there, because it's like, I mean, there'd basically be cables like that thick and then you'd have boards over the puddles and it's like, it's
Right.
just about every year it flooded down there during the fair. We used to show all the time down there.
And we have been working with, Fair Board representative. They're trying to get a grant to improve facilities and safety out there. We try to write a safety plan. We work almost every year with Deb Acker, who's always in the box and asking for AEDs and our radios and stuff. And now I think after all these years, I just realized I haven't had a phone call from her. So we must have been good. It's doing that kind of planning, but with it used to be swine flu, then it was possibly avian flu, then it was gonna possibly be this latest round of whatever's just come out from, can't remember what it was, but it seemed like they weren't gonna be able to show ducks or small animals, but they lifted that as it came through. But you had to prepare those plans in case, all those kids get disappointed, and how do you try to make it a salvageable event? So they do a great job of planning, and then we're a resource to them as well. So, and right now, through emergency management, we're working on the implementation of that panic button to all those K through 12 schools to try and have that come out to, if they have an active shooter, fire, EMS event, or even if they just need their own local team of school people to help on something smaller than life threatening. We're trying to make that a 3-year study, provide that kind of service. So, and then a lot of law enforcement trainings coming up, and fire training of how to integrate, which that is the one thing I think emergency management would and could provide more, is these exercises that have all of us practice together, not just as individual agencies. And we've even talked about, even basic fire drills in places like here with the administrator, talking about doing some more safety stuff. So it's a needed position. We're a big enough community that, I'll tell you my professional recommendation, and she knows it is full-time. Go back to the way it was when we started, full-time for that particular portion of it, and get somebody planning, because we've reduced so many hours in it. I think we're losing it, but it's a great grant to support us as much as possible. And on occasion they do throw, I think twice in 20 years, they've thrown an extra 10 grand our way. So we'll take every penny. That was a directive given to me a long time ago from George. So you get every penny you can as you can. So I'm happy to do that. And anything I can do or answer your questions, please let me know. So
Definitely the work you do for, preparing the grants and forward thinking, it, provides the county a lot of service. I mean, we're prepared. It seems. I'm very impressed with the group in the department.
thank you.
I'll make a motion if you don't have any more. No,
I will support that. It's been moved and supported that we move the fiscal year 2023 emergency management performance grant forward. The work session, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The motion has passed and we will move this forward to the work session.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is consider approving the updated cover page of the emergency operation plan and authorize board chair to sign the same.
So this is a normal part of our emergency planning, the plan that comes with the grant that we just talked about. We update all the sections of the plan, and as the board chair position changes, we need to sign a new cover page. I've reviewed the plan parts with the administration, Nicole, who's responsible for several sections of them happening, and I've talked with Chairman Hope about it, answered any questions. And this is just routine to sign the cover page so I can send it up to the state, let it know it's up to date on file.
I have no questions on the cover page.
It's pretty simple board.
You want a dot, right? Period, right?
Exactly.
Like mission statements, go through every little A and done.
Absolutely.
I'll make the motion to move this forward to the VOC.
And I will support that we move the cover page forward to the work session. On favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Both same, and we will move this forward. Okay, last up on our agenda is consider approving the subscription order for the prepared live emergency communication service for Isabella County 911 Central Dispatch, and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
So at a Homeland Security conference, I saw this one was a 911 conference update. It's a new technology that's coming that might allow the 911 caller to send a video or a picture text to 911 to assist in the processing of the call, getting them police, fire, ambulance, or even, assisting with making their police report. We would like to test this. It's a free service subscription to sign up to. It's been reviewed by legal counsel with no objections. And I'll be happy to report back after we've tested it, what we think of it.
We like free.
Free's good.
Um,
How long is the test? Sorry,
But
how long is the testing period?
They said the free period is until we decide to stop. So we'll probably run it over, at least a year's worth of phone calls and see what happens. I think they have some enhancements that they're planning over the year that might be a cost one add on. So we'll wait and see what free is and what the cost to do anything better on that is. So
Okay.
Sheriff is the one who actually brought this to my attention. And when I saw it at the place, I went to go get the demo type deal. So it looks interesting.
this won't add anything to our hardware as far as spacing or?
No, all on the web, correct.
all on-
Yep,
Okay,
yep, all web-based. So
So
don't
we're
have to
not-
buy anything for it.
we're not gonna have any issues as far as storage or
Right.
Keep
Yeah.
your router,
Yeah, the cloud.
cloud, yeah,
It's all in the cloud.
everything. I don't have any further questions.
Then, all right, I'll make the motion to move the prepared live emergency testing approval to the Board of Commissioners meeting.
And I will support that. Is there any more discussion on? Yeah, motion, seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Both same, the motion has passed and we will move that forward to the work session. Thank you.
Thank you.
At
Thanks.
this-
Simon said run early, so I just.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Have a
Mark.
good one.
See you now.
Go quick. We've reached the end of our items on there, so we will have a call to the public. He's on his way out, so is there anybody on the phone?
There's no one at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, seeing that no one is on there, I will call the meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, did excellent.